Hello and welcome back to another video in this section on file I/O. We've seen so far how to read from files. Now let's talk about writing to files. So first thing you should know when we're talking about writing to files, we still have to open the file. So whether the file exists already or not, we'll talk about both, you still have to use the open function. So we open and then read, or we open and then write. We need to specify the W flag as the second argument. So we haven't been passing in any flags because the default is R, which means read. So if we don't pass anything in like we did in the last couple of videos, we're reading. But we add a W as a string to specify we're writing. So here's our first simple example. And I'll just copy this over to my Sublime. Here we are. So we have our same with open. Blue, stop it. So we have the same with statement. We're opening haiku.txt, which is a file I have here. It's empty at the moment. And we're in the same directory. Otherwise, I need to do slash, I don't know, whatever the folder name. And we pass in W. So once again, we've been doing this so far because we've only been reading. W is how we specify we want to write. And then we just use as, give it the name file. And then to write to the file, we use the write method. Pass in a string, and we'll add that to the file. Notice that I also have the new line characters in there just so that we're writing to separate lines. I'll go ahead and save this, go to my terminal, and run the file which I called write.py. Okay, so it looks like nothing happened, but if I now open up that same haiku.txt file, there we go. Look at what's been added in there. Okay, so I won't go through the entire alternate syntax, but remember we can do a separate variable file equals open haiku.txt. If I just copied that, and then do file.write and not do the with, but then remember we need to do a file.close at the end as well. Okay, so now let's add to the file. I'll add a different haiku. Okay, I updated it. Here's one more haiku. What about the older one? Let's go check it out. Ominous sounding. So we're trying to add to that file. This is here now. Let's go ahead and rerun my file. Now if I go to haiku.txt, I don't know if you're able to see that. It happened very quick, but it reloaded. The file changed. And there's only 3 lines in here. So we didn't add on to the end and preserve what used to be in the file. All that we did was basically overwrite everything. So the original haiku is gone, and we replaced it with these 3 lines. So really important to know that that's how write behaves, at least when we're working with the W flag. Whenever we write to the file, the original contents are overwritten. Before I dive into the different file modes, I'll also just highlight that we don't have to have an existing file to write to. So let's change this instead of haiku.txt, or maybe I'll do this on a separate line, keep the haiku, and just do lol.txt, and then we'll write a single line in here that says haha, and then let's multiply it by 10,000. Okay, just like this. And that file is not created, lol.txt. You can see all the files I have in this directory. There's not an lol.txt. If I rerun that file, and if I type ls, you can see there's now an lol.txt file. So if I open it up, there we go. It's completely full of ha 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 ha. Okay, so the whole point there is just to show you can write to an existing file, or you can write to a non-existing file and it will be created for you.